Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina and today I'm doing a full-on long video on BoxyCharm. So a lot of you guys know that I've been subscribed to BoxyCharm for I think almost 2 years now, and I know a lot of you guys have issues with BoxyCharm and a lot of you guys have canceled, and I wanted to run through the numbers on value. I wanted to run through every month, tell you my favorites, things I got rid of. I wanted to run through everything that I possibly could. I've been planning for this video for a couple days. I put a lot of extra work into this video. There's a lot of math involved. It was just adding. It wasn't that hard. Don't know why I'm trying to toot my own horn. It was just simple addition. But there was some math involved. There was me running through all of the items from every month, and I wanted to share that with you today. So before I jump into my little BoxyCharm yearly breakdown, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button. I do upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard, so definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button if these kind of videos are interesting to you. I do makeup related videos. I am mainly a project panner, so if you like project panning, definitely hit that button because I'm doing a lot right now. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into this video. So I have right here, I have kept every single little postcard information sheet that has come in every BoxyCharm from the past year. This is all from 2019. I did this last year. I plan on doing it again in 2020 for as long as I have the box, which I'm pretty sure I'm keeping. These are all of the cards from last year, every single one. I also have 4 pages of notes on BoxyCharm right now. And so let's start breaking this down, you guys. I have the basic BoxyCharm subscription. This retails for now $25 a month, basically. It was $21 at the beginning of the year. It is now transitioned into being a little bit more expensive. It's about $25. I also have BoxyLuxe, which comes out every 3 months, so quarterly. We get a larger box for $50, which includes more items. I have no intentions of canceling my BoxyCharm. I just really enjoy it. I feel like it actually stops me from spending money, and I don't tend to spend very much money outside of replacements right now because I just enjoy getting things that I wouldn't really pick for myself. I know a lot of people would rather invest their money in things that they are choosing, but for me, seeing that I'm a makeup channel, I just kind of like to try random stuff, and for me this works out better. Otherwise, I just resort to things I already know and love because if I'm spending my money, I want to know more about it. This is a good way for me to try different things, especially eyeshadow palettes. I don't have a tendency to buy eyeshadow palettes on my own. I was getting a little annoyed that we were getting them every month for a little bit because it's more than one person can feasibly use, but I've changed that to where eyeshadow palettes should be, it's one of the lowest things on my list of things that I enjoy getting. So hopefully that means I'm getting a lot less. I didn't get one in my first box, so fingers crossed. This isn't fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that is how it stays. Another thing that I really like about BoxyCharm, not only is it items that I wouldn't typically buy for myself, it's usually high-end products, which is a lot of the reason why I don't go to other subscription boxes, because I feel like as long as they're pretty high-end products, I'm always going to get my money's worth. And for me, the biggest thing with this subscription box is I'm spending considerably less money than I'm getting in return for it. And so for me, this all comes down to how much value am I getting from it. And for me, BoxyCharm always delivers on value because they almost always have high-end products in. We rarely get cheap products. I think for the entire year, I think the cheapest item I got in one of my boxes was $10. It's half the value of the box every month. So for that, I'm like, the value's there. So now that I've kind of rambled and spoken my piece about BoxyCharm and why I enjoy it and why I will continue to have a BoxyCharm, let's start getting into these monthly breakdowns. So in January, that was a typical box. It was the normal $21. So at the beginning of 2019, they were still $21 a box, about $22 with tax. And in January's box, we got 5 items. The total value of that box was about $118. So as you can tell, you spend $21, you got $100 worth of over $100 extra. That box was unfortunately one of, I think, the least successful boxes for me personally. I ended up, out of the 5 items, only keeping 2 of them, and I gave away 3. And those items went to friends and family for the most part. So that one was the worst box out of the year though, for me, was the beginning of last year. Half the items didn't work for me or I just didn't enjoy. One of the items that I ended up giving away was the Coco Cabana cream from Sol de Janeiro. The reason I did that, I loved the scent of it in the tub, but anytime I wore it on my body, I got debilitating migraines because I do get very bad scent headaches. So it wasn't the fact that I didn't really enjoy the product, I couldn't handle the smell of it once it was on me. Something about it on my skin did not work. So that's why I got rid of that. So some of it was, you know, obviously trial and error. I think that would have been something I would have bought on my own though, because I was really I love the Bum Bum cream. And so when I saw that they were coming out with the coconut one and I enjoyed how it smelled in the tub, I probably would have ended up spending my money on it anyways. So in that way, it would have been a loss regardless, and the Coco Cabana cream was $20. So either way, I would have lost that money. If you look at it, that's the way I always look at these things. So that's why I always feel like I come out on top with BoxyCharm, but that's just the way I look at things. The next month was February, obviously, and it was also $21 that month. And we got another 5 items. Out of the 5 items, I only gave away 1, and then I kept the other 4, 2 of which I have already finished, so I got their full value out of that box, and then the other 2 I still have in my collection because they're gonna take me longer to use up. One of those is a brow pencil, which is about halfway done, but you guys know I've been focusing so much on my Benefit Brow and my Project Pan that that's kind of gotten pushed to the side a little bit. And then the other item is a liquid lip, which you guys know take forever. So that is why those 2 items are still in my collection. But the other 2 that got finished up was a hair conditioning spray, which was the Briogia. That was in my empties this year, so you guys would have seen that one. And then the other one that I finished was the 2 Tatcha sheet masks that came in that, and those were freaking expensive, but I finished both of those as well. March is our first Boxy Luxe box that we got that year, so $50 for that box. We ended up getting a total of 10 items in that box, and the value of that box was $301.98, and we spent $50. So you get a huge value for the Boxy Luxes. That Boxy Luxe was actually very successful for me. I didn't end up getting rid of anything in that box. I still have the majority of things that came in that box, however, because again, they are products that either last forever, like brushes or hair towels, things like that, or they're like eyeshadow palettes and other things. I did end up finishing 2 of the items though in that box, and one of them was a IT Cosmetics moisturizer, which I loved. If it wasn't freaking almost $60 for that moisturizer, I would buy it again, but I can't. Thus is why I like BoxyCharm, because I got it for the same prices as the box and plus a whole bunch of other stuff. So again, I will reiterate this many times, I enjoy my BoxyCharms. The other item that I finished up was a pair of Lily lashes that I wore, I think, like 8 times before they eventually like fell apart. So those were another item that I completely used up as well. In April, we go back to the normal BoxyCharms, which was still $21 at this point. We had 5 items in this box as well, and this one was semi-successful. There was items in there that I kept initially and then I have since gotten rid of. One of those items was the Pure Festival palette because I just didn't see myself reaching for it very often, so I gave it away. I did enjoy the palette, it's just I wasn't reaching for it very often, and it was very similar to other things I had in my collection. Also, the pink stained my lids, and that was annoying to me. Every time I wore the pink shade in that palette, I looked like I had an eye infection, so I didn't really particularly enjoy that. I prefer for my pinks not to stain my skin. The value in that box was $127, so for the most part, the value at the beginning of the year is pretty good, and then it diminishes a little bit and then it goes back up. So it seems to go in waves, but we're almost always with the regular BoxyCharm, they're almost always above $100. I didn't have any at all this year that were under $100. In 2018's wrap up, we did have some that were under the value of 100, but I had none this year that were. So for the most part, it seems like the value has gone up in these boxes. Everything else for the most part in that box I have used or am enjoying. They sent us a set of Luxie brushes in that box, so like I'm gonna end up keeping those for a long time because they're brushes. They last longer than say like a foundation would or a lip gloss would. So a lot of those, that's why they're still in my collection. In May, it's another normal box. We're still at the $21 mark for this, and then the overall value for the box was $111, which I think might be the lowest one for the entire year. Oh, February. Did I tell you February's value? February was $110, so those two are about the same, but I think those are the lowest values all year. Yep. So May and February were the lowest values at $111. If that gives you any indication of how good the value is typically. So again, the value is at $111. We got another 5 items in that box as well. And I only gave away 1 item in that one, and I still have everything else that came in that box. The 1 item I gave away was a Glam Glow Cleanser, and it's not cruelty-free, which is why I gave it away, and I gave it away to family. So I think from what I remember, they've used it up already, so again, it wasn't wasted. And actually looking at this list, so there's a vintage lip pencil that came in this box. That lip pencil is actually almost done. It's like a nub. It's like this big now, so technically I almost finished up something that came in that box. Next month is June, and that is another Boxy Luxe, so another $50 so. I just put 50, but I think with tax it's like 52. This box came with 9 items, and I think Boxy Luxes are supposed to come with 9 to 11, so it was on the lower side of the number that we got in this one, but the value was still $352 in this box, so you get a surplus of $300 worth of value in this box. One of the things that really drove up the price in that box was the Pretty Young Thing hair dryer. It's that little orange hair dryer that I got, and I wasn't too excited about it, but you guys know, ever since my husband got back from deployment, which he got back in August of 2019, since August, we've literally gone on a trip somewhere that we've had to fly to every 3 weeks, and I can't tell you how useful it is to have your own hair dryer, especially that one, because it actually is very powerful and a lot better than a lot of the hotel hair dryers that I typically run across. Or if we're staying at friends and family, they may not have one either, depending on where we're staying. We stayed with his brother once. His brother definitely doesn't own a hair dryer, so that hair dryer actually was super useful to me, and it was the highest priced item. I remember when we got it, I wasn't that thrilled about it because I was like, it's really expensive for this little tiny hair dryer, but it actually ended up being very beneficial to me, and I would have never, ever bought that for myself. Out of this box, I finished 2 items completely. I finished a mascara, and I finished the Skin & Co. face mist, which I mentioned in, I think, my last BoxyCharm video about how much I enjoyed it. So those are the 2 items I finished from this box. I gave away 1 item, which was also because it wasn't cruelty-free, and it was a Dr. Brandt cleanser. I don't even remember what that one looks like or anything, but I gave it away to friends and family. Once again, that's how all my giveaways go, unless I do an active giveaway for you guys, which I did a couple of those later in the year. But overall, I kept most of the things from the box. I still have them, and I still enjoy them. July goes back to our normal BoxyCharm price, which is $21, and we ended up getting 5 items in this box as well. The value of this box was $133, so again, way above the $100 range. I ended up decluttering one of the items and did a giveaway for another one, so 2 items out of the 5 are gone out of my collection. The other 3 I still have. There was a set of brushes in that, so that's why I have one. Another one was a mask, which I think I've actually gotten a lot of use out of it. It was a superfood mask by LMS. And then there is a gel eyeliner, which is a green eyeliner. I had it in my Shop My Stash a couple of times later on in the year, and I've gotten some use out of it. It's just, it's green, so I don't use it too often, but I do enjoy having that option. The next month in August, I think, is the first month that the prices go up, so it is about $25 at the start of August, and the value of the box is $144, so the value does go up a little. I don't think the value goes up substantially, but granted, the price of the box didn't go up substantially as well. A couple more bucks here. Overall, not enough to be a huge difference. In August box, we got 5 items in that as well. 2 of the items I've already finished, and then the other 3 I still own. So this box was very successful. Again, I didn't give away anything. I didn't need to declutter anything, and I actually finished up a couple. I ended up finishing a mascara, and I ended up finishing the lashes that came in that. Sounds weird to say I finished eyelashes, but I use them until they fall apart basically, and then I throw them out. So in my head, that's why I'm saying it that way, but that is what I did with that box, and all of the other items I still have in my collection. One of those items is the Becca Hydra Mist powder. I still have that. You guys have seen that in my Shop My Stash many times. I actually really enjoy it, but I definitely think that will be something that will be used up pretty soon in this year. Next, we have September, which of course is another Boxy Luxe, and I think it's about $50 to $55. I can't remember if that price went up as well, but it's around there. I wrote $55 on my sheet to do math later, and then the value of the box in total was $315.99. So it's still over $300 of value. Like, what the heck? This box was also very successful for me. I have everything still from that box. I still own it. Nothing's been decluttered. I haven't given anything away. I enjoyed everything I got in that box. Probably my standout product from that is actually the Hank & Henry liquid liner that I got in that box, because holy crap, it's amazing. It's probably my favorite liquid liner ever. It's what I'm wearing today because, again, holy crap, it's amazing. I will definitely repurchase it when mine finally dries out, but it's still going strong. It's waterproof. I have the world's worst watery eyes, and again, it's what I'm wearing today, and it's still on, and it still looks good. It also has a nice fine tip. It was the absolute standout product. It's probably one of the most standout products all year for me, and I would have never bought it on my own because I've never bought Hank & Henry. I know the brand, I know the owner of the brand, or know of the owner. I don't know him personally, but I would have never bought from it just because I don't hear enough about it. So again, I'm very thankful that BoxyCharm sent it to me because it's one of my favorites from the year. Moving on to October, it was again $25, about $25 for the box. The value of the box was $121, so definitely diminished a little bit. That month was pretty good. That was the month that I gave away the Dose of Colors eyeshadow palette, and that was the only giveaway that I did from that. Everything else from that box I still own, but I already owned the palette, so that's why I did a giveaway for that, because I don't need to. In November, again, it was just a normal box, $25, and the value was $148 for that box for me. And again, that's good. Again, the value is good throughout. You're getting your money's worth, in my opinion. From that box, I only ended up giving one thing away, which was a Dose of Colors liquid lipstick, which you guys know I did a giveaway for you guys for that one. That's the only thing I gave away. One of the items from the box I ended up finishing, which was the eye masks that came in that one. Those are completely used up, and I really enjoyed them. Don't really think they had many benefits. They were just little masks that heated up. They were like sleeping masks that were warmed. Don't really know if that had any benefits for my overall youthful appearance, but I enjoyed it regardless. It made for a really good nap. So those got used up. We got a set of brushes in that one as well. So again, some of those things are things that aren't really gonna get used up. And then the last month for the box and the final rundown of every individual box is of course December, and that's the most recent. So most of y'all probably remember this one, but again, about $50, $55 for that box. I got 9 items in this box as well, and my value was $385, which is shocking. Honestly, that's a lot. That's almost $400 worth of value in that one box, which again, that's craziness. I ended up doing a giveaway of only 1 item, so out of the 9, I kept 8, and I still have all of the items. Probably my favorite item from this box is the facial roller, which seems really silly, but it's the most expensive item that came in the box at $69, and I freaking love that thing. I've thrown it in the refrigerator, and I use it basically every morning when I'm drinking my coffee. I'm rolling my face with my facial roller because chef's kiss, it feels so flipping good. It just seems to calm my face down. I wake up with a very swollen, puffy face. I feel like a lot of us do, but I have a tendency to drink wine at night and then not drink enough water before I go to bed, so I feel like that's why I probably wake up puffy. It's a bad habit. I need to stop doing that, but I freaking love that facial roller. It's just, it's so good, and it was worth the box. It was more expensive than my box, so it was like a present. It was great. I also really loved the Storybook Cosmetics palette that came in that box because it's beautiful. I used it. The blue eye look that I had a couple weeks ago was from that palette. That's the palette I used to make it, and so many of you guys liked that look, and I freaking love that palette. It's just so cute, and I love it, and the shadows are so good. So between the facial roller and that palette, the box already is double the value of what I paid for it. In my opinion, worth it. That, guys, is the rundown of every single month right here. As you can tell, I'm a broken record when it comes to this, but for me, I found enough value in these boxes that it pays for what I spent the money on. Retrospectively, if I had spent the amount of money on the things that I enjoyed out of the box, I would have spent more money than I spent on BoxyCharm. So the amount I spent on BoxyCharm for the entire year was $380. That's it. That's not even close to how much I spent just buying replacements for items in my collection. If you guys watched my empties video, you know I spent over $1,000 this year on makeup products. My BoxyCharms were included in that price, which means money I spent on actual makeup outside of BoxyCharm was double what I spent on BoxyCharm. Does that make sense? So I spent $700. I spent over $700 on makeup on my own, and then I only spent $380 on BoxyCharm. That's craziness. Because I got so much more out of BoxyCharm than I got with my own money. Does that make sense? A lot of the items from BoxyCharm I still use. Like I said, I didn't declutter that many or give away that many. Most of the things that I got rid of or decluttered was, well, a lot of them I actually had doubles of, or they were things that I couldn't use because of cruelty-free status, but marginally, it's not that big of a deal. The total amount of value that came in the boxes, so I took every single item and I added up value, so basically all of those monthly totals, just add them all together. The total value of all of the boxes from the year, $2,366.97. The amount of items that came into my collection this year from BoxyCharm was 76 items in total, not including how many decluttered and got used up, because if you watched my inventory numbers only grew by 3. Even though I was bringing in that many items, I was also using up a lot of items, so honestly, it didn't inflate my numbers too much. Out of the items that I gave away or I decluttered, that was 13 items. valued at $314, but 13 out of the 76. Items that I used up, I finished 10 whole products valued at $208.99. So then that leaves the items that I kept. So I kept 53 items this year from BoxyCharm, and those are valued at over $1,000. So it's valued at $1,834.98, and that's ridiculously crazy to me. That's a lot of items. There's a lot going on. What do all these numbers mean to me? What does this mean to you guys? Why am I even doing this video? Basically, I just wanted to see the basic rundown. So I say this every month. For me, I like to put my money into things that I feel like are investable almost. For me, I'm only spending $20 a month or $50 a month, and I'm getting triple the value or double the value of what I'm putting into it. And these are actually items that I'm keeping and using. Is it inflating my numbers a little bit in my inventory? Kind of. But honestly, right now, my inventory isn't at a level that is overwhelming to me. It's not taking up a huge amount of space. You guys see where I hold my makeup. My makeup is in 2 drawers. My makeup isn't in Alex drawers. It's not in multiple organizational things. It's pretty manageable. It's in one little corner of my office, and then I have my everyday makeup station and I cycle through it. So I don't feel like my collection is overwhelming me. I think I may have came off that way in my inventory, which I honestly didn't mean to do, because when I sit down and I did these numbers, I was like, you get so much value for your money, and it's bang for your buck basically, and it's so much smaller than what I actually spend on makeup, and I declutter more of what I buy personally than I have from BoxyCharm, which I know sounds crazy, but a lot of the things that I spend a lot of money on are foundations, and I declutter a lot of foundations. A lot of foundations don't work for me. Primers are another thing that I declutter a lot of, because those will actively break me out, and I get a lot of those on my own. I buy a lot of perfume on my own that I don't end up using or I get headaches from. So for me, I didn't declutter that much or give away that much from BoxyCharm, especially in comparison to what I would do normally in my own collection, and I didn't spend as much money on these things. So I spent $380 on BoxyCharm. I got rid of $314, but out of everything that I kept, there is an $1,800 value. So really I got $1,500 worth of value extra. And then the $208 that I ended up finishing up. So it's like I got $1,700 worth of product for nothing. That's just the way I look at it. So that is my rundown of the numbers for 2019, and of course I think it's very obvious that my stance on BoxyCharm is I love it. I like getting stuff that I wouldn't have picked on my own. I like the surprise of it. If you're not into surprises, don't get a subscription box. If you'd rather pick and choose your items more carefully and you want to research, then don't get a subscription box. For me, I don't mind it. I like trying things, seeing if they work for me, trying things that I don't necessarily think I would ever choose for myself, and it's just a general surprise to me. So that's why I like the box. I think value-wise, I always get my money's worth out of it, so it doesn't feel like a waste to me. And if I end up giving away products, that's fine. I'm fine doing makeup exchanges. I'm fine donating. I'm fine giving to friends and family who don't have the subscription box. So again, I look forward to it every month, and I think this last year, I definitely got a lot more than I bargained for. I think overall, 2019 for BoxyCharm was a good year for me. I didn't have any major issues with it. I know a lot of you guys have had issues with not receiving product or getting broken products. I've been very lucky. I've had no issues, in my opinion, with BoxyCharm. I think my Alamar palette was technically the wrong shade. Like, I got the medium version, but it still works for me, so it wasn't even a negative to me. I feel like they've worked on a lot of the issues at the end of the year, so I really can't speak on any of the issues because I'm not personally having them. It's not my story to tell, but definitely down in the comments, let me know what all of your thoughts are on BoxyCharm, whether or not you're keeping it, if you love it, if you hate it. Let's talk about all things makeup related. That is my yearly rundown of BoxyCharm. Hopefully you guys found this interesting and informative. Hopefully that means you don't have to run through your numbers and do all of the math, because that addition, you know, stupid. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button if these kind of videos are interesting to you, and hopefully that means I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye!